job, man. Thank you for that. Now I feel like I have to have even more energy now that the bar's been raised. It's awesome. So I wanted to ask you guys a question that are in the Air Force. When a civilian like me does a ride-along or an incentive ride, do you guys secretly make bets on us? Okay, because I know I would. I'd be like, that guy, 10 minutes, tops. Oxygen's going on. Barf bag might be coming out. I'm talking about a T-38 flight that I took a couple months ago. Anyone here from Columbus, the 14th? All right, that was the last group. They've moved on. All right. And I really just wanted to say how much I admire you guys. I didn't have any idea flying was that hard. The G suit, 3 times a day? Some people do that? Are you kidding me? I'm still recovering. It was like 3.5 months ago. I look at the plane and the crew, and it was awesome. It was like a bucket list item I didn't know I had. So it now is on the bucket list, way up there. And all that to say, much respect. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for allowing people like me to be able to do something like that, to respect and understand better what you guys do. So I have a question for you as we talk about generations, multiple generations. It's like our favorite thing to complain about. That generation, this generation, even our own generation we seem to be complaining about. And every generation has 7% of crazy people. For some reason, we just beat up on the current young generation. We kind of eat our own a little bit there. But the question is this: who has been your best boss ever, and why? While you're thinking, I want to tell you about my worst boss ever, which was me. I was such a terrible boss. At 27 years old, I had a team of 5, and I'm pretty sure they needed, or probably should have had, some oxygen, some barf bags, and all that stuff, because I was just all command and control. I was all about business, buy the books, get it done, or you're out. My way or the highway, right? And that works in crisis and wartime. It doesn't work all the time. The other rest of the time, and even sometimes in crisis and wartime, we need the care and concern person. A balanced approach, right? Where you can kiss both guns and feel good about it. You can handle any situation and any type of person you need to lead. I was the one-sided leader. So I found out we were in last place. That was a sales team, Southern California, wine business. And I was told by my boss, we're firing you. Wow, that never happened before. Does that happen to you? That's a rough thing to hear. We're rejecting you, you're out. Ooh. So I said, yeah, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in Monday and I'm going to quit. Not getting fired. I can one-up them. And then my more reasonable mind surfaced, and I decided to do something risky and crazy. I've been reading all these books about this whole other side of leadership, care and concern, connecting, relationships. I'm going to do that. Can't be any worse. Can't get any worse. So I took out one of my 5 guys, Sean Delaney, to lunch, and I said, can we do something a little different? I would like to ask you about your life. Get to know you. I've been here 6 months and I don't know anything about you. Tell me about your family. Where'd you grow up? What are your hobbies? What would you do if you weren't working here? Real life questions. Wow. Leaving there, he said, this is the best boss meeting I've ever had. Really? Huh. I didn't know if it would really work. But best boss meeting? Come on. He said, yeah, really. You had to do this with every other guy on the team. Yeah, I think I will. What else do I have to lose? And I did. Within a couple weeks, we went from last place to middle of the pack. My boss said, what are you doing? I said, I'm just meeting with the guy. He said, well, keep doing it. It's working. Another 2 weeks, we're in first place. That's a big deal when you're in sales. Big deal. People like roll the carpet out for you. It's crazy. So the moral of the story there is it worked. I don't think I ever got Best Boss Award because I had so many weeks that were bad, but maybe I evened it out and ended up getting promoted and moving on, and the rest is history. It's crazy, and I've been using those techniques ever since. So what about you? Who was your best boss and why? And if you had to put a few words on it, what would those words be? Compassion, driven, confident, caring? Well, we did a survey with 1,200 people, demographics, psychographics, over 10 years, and here's what we came up with. This is the data, this is the science from those 1,200 people. All ages, all stages of life, male, female, government, non-government, corporate, for-profit, not-for-profit. This is what they want? I was shocked. I looked at this data last week. I'd never seen it crunched up before. I would have not predicted this. Would you have predicted this? Would you say that is what people are looking for? Well, it's what you said. It's 1,200 people, part of it's military. Now, I'll give a disclaimer. This might need to look a little different in military circles, especially during crisis and wartime. I get it. But there's a lot of other time, right? And if we want to be effective, do we need to add these types of things to our toolbox? So here's what we're looking at as generations go. 80%, 79, 80% of active duty is under the age of 37. Those are millennials and centennials. Above that would be Gen X and baby boomers. It's only 21%. What do you make of that? So there was a study done, and this study is consistent. I've seen it probably a dozen times, Rolling Stone, Wall Street Journal, you name it. This one's Inc. magazine. It's almost always the same. Millennials are looking for the same things. We're just not delivering. And millennials are going to have to start doing this as well. They're going to have to start delivering on this. What do they want? Mentoring. They want a kind and gentle spirit. That sounds like church. Really? But this is Inc. magazine. That's what it said. Authenticity and integrity. Now people say, well, I've tried to mentor some of those millennials. They don't want to hear it. I'm like, did your face look like that when you were trying to mentor them? Was your tone of voice like that? And did you build a relationship at all before you tried to tell them they suck? That's crazy. So it's about connecting, right? It's about getting in there. What is mentoring specifically? It is connecting. And it's connecting with feedback. Millennials are asking for feedback, aren't you? They want to know the score. They want to know if they're winning or losing. So having real-time feedback is really, really important. They want the transparency and the gentleness and the kindness. They just want to know you have a heart, right? It's not all about what's in the brain. Sometimes we have to pull that thing that's in our chest out a little bit more. It's okay. It's okay. They're not going to look at you as weak. This command and control side is alive and well. Bringing a little more of this in there is just a balanced position. What else? Authenticity and integrity. But can we, for the sake of the time we have, just focus in on the mentoring piece? Let me give you all 4 of these before we do that, because I wanted to say one last thing. If you look at what was said by the 1,200 people and what was said by Inc. magazine and a bunch of others, this is revolutionary. If you don't see anything or hear anything else, look up here and catch this. We are more, all the generations, we are more alike than we are unalike. Let that digest for a moment. We like to divide, don't we? We like to get in our little pockets because we feel safer with our own age group or stage group or you name it group. Feels more safe. But we're all groups more alike than unalike. That's what the data, the science is telling us. So can we take just one tool? I want to give you one tool for your toolbox, and that is the mentoring tool. Mentoring is said across the board to be the thing that we all want. We want to be relatable. We want mentors. We want to learn. And what is it? Mentoring is just connecting. Let's make it really simple. It's connecting with intention to help and care. We hear this word care all the time. And caring is success. So what is care? I want to give you the acronym, C-A-R-E. Connecting with authenticity and respect, with encouragement. How do you know if someone needs encouragement? Just see if they're breathing. We all need more courage. Don't you? I can always use it. Why? Because people don't really care how much you know. Until what? You've heard this. They know how much you care. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Let's keep it really simple. I love football, so I've got to throw a little football in here. I'm a Steelers fan, but I'm going to put Tom Brady up here, 5-time Super Bowl champ. Hey, you can't argue with that. He says, you have to care about the people around you to be successful. Seems to be working. How about Mark Cuban, successful businessman, Shark Tank, owner of the Dallas Mavericks? He says, I've tried all these other techniques. What works best is to be nice. He uses the word nice. To me, that feels too soft. Does it feel too soft to you? But he's saying it's not. It's highly effective. And we're not saying just be soft and not strong. It's a balance. You need to find the balance with the team members you have. Think of 5 team members that are responsible for your success. And I want to give you a couple tools that might help you lead them in a new and different way, in a better way, potentially. So, another piece in here, Denzel Washington. He says, you want to find out a successful person? You'll find they have a mentor behind them. I bet your number one boss, when you're thinking about it, I bet they were like that because they had a mentor. Someone to feed into them, pour into them, give them feedback, help them get better. So what if you don't do any of this? You just keep doing same old, same old. Well, you can, but why did you come? If you don't want to learn something new. I'm sure you do. That's why you're here. But if you do stay the same, it's going to be the same old stuff, right? Work longer hours, more stress and anxiety, relationships don't necessarily get any better. But you can still complain about the generations. You can hold on to that one if that's your pastime. But we don't want to keep doing that, do we? We really don't. I know you don't. So, if we go back to this chart, it says people of all ages and stages want kindness, caring, call it listening. Maybe it's just being a great listener. Did you hear Steve this morning? He talked about his boss, Kelly Johnson. Be a great listener and be able to adapt. It's powerful. So what are some tools I can leave you with? A friend of mine, a mentor, told me once that his favorite business book was The 5 Love Languages. I was like, you heard of this, The 5 Love Languages? I'm like, isn't that a marriage book? And he looked at me and he's like, I know what I told you. You asked me. And I went, oh, that's right, mentor, protege, got it. Whoa, wait a minute, brilliant. If you can make a marriage work with how much more a business or a command? Consider it. Here are 3 tools. I'm going to give you a 4th. First is time. Have you heard how kids spell love? It's maybe no different than any of us. T-I-M-E. That's how they spell love. Think about that one. So just spending time like I did with Sean Delaney and the rest of the team seemed to elevate our engagement and our sales and everything that goes with it. What else? Tasks. Some people are task people. And you have to figure out what works for them. They want you to help them think through their tasks because they're overloaded. They want to do everything 100%. And they need to help you figure out what can be 92. Is 100 really 100 or is 100 110 for them? And they need to reorient what's really 100%. Help them with that. Or is it words? They want a note. They want a kind compliment in public, right? We're all unique. We're all kind of the same at the same time. We want care and concern, but it looks like this. It looks like this here. And the last thing is make sure that your eye contact matches up with who you're working with, who you're meeting with. Don't be too drilled in and just like creepy staring through them. Nobody likes that. And try not to be looking around and, are you really engaged with me? Do you really want to be here at lunch? Right? Match it up. It's kind of common sense if you give yourself time just to really think about it and absorb it. This book's also available that I wrote on mentoring. 10 years ago, nobody was really that interested in it because mentoring was kind of weird 10 years ago. And we reissued it a couple years ago, and all of a sudden it's like, this is the greatest thing, mentoring. Like, wow, does stuff change in a generation? But I've got some copies if you're interested. And in review, let's keep it simple. What is caring? It's connecting, right? Simple. Authenticity. Be real. It's respecting each person because you want to and they deserve it. And it's encouraging them. Can you do that? We can all do that. We all have over 20 lunches every month. Don't eat alone. Take someone with you. Make it about them, not about you and your mission. Make it about their mission, and then draw their mission into your global mission. That can work because we need you. We need you to lead so we can learn from you out there. And we'll keep bringing ideas to you. You keep bringing ideas to me. We're all going to get better together. So would you pledge with me to yourselves that you can get off defense? I want to encourage you and challenge you and give you permission to get off defense, complaining, criticizing, and play offense. We need you to do that, to be the best versions of yourselves. Okay? Let's do it. Thank you very much.